Hey there, folks. Thought I would give an opinion, more of a random thought in my head as my last post for the evening. You know, there's always been that saying that great people do not seek greatness, greatness is thrust upon them. Okay? And I used to like to think that the presidency itself was a very great post. It was an honor to be voted by the majority of the American population into the highest office of the land and to uphold the ideals of our Constitution and the freedoms of which we enjoy. But I reflect on the fact that there's been talk about wanting to allow someone through whatever means that they somehow think they can get, be able to give them a third term or possibly even more terms, you know. And it makes me reflect of our first president, George Washington, and for all his flaws, you know, even great men have flaws. Okay, no human being is perfect. All right? But what elevated him to the respect of the people of the Continental Congress and the newly formed nation of the United States was his modesty. He was a colonel. He was known for, his tactical brilliance during the French and Indian Wars. It was John Adams who nominated him to be the general of the Continental Army in the hopes of being able to gain support from the Continental Congress to basically establish a Continental Army and basically bring all the militias of all the states together under one banner. And after we managed to gain freedom and defeat the British and actually establish ourselves as a nation, he was one of the very first people that people thought of to be the president of our nation. And, his inauguration speech, you would have expected, or not even, actually not the speech, but his taking oath of office. He was such a quiet man that nobody in the audience could hear him taking his oath. You know, he was an incredibly modest individual. But the one factor that makes him stand out, I think, it's among all the presidencies, is not the fact that he was our first president. It was the fact that he set the precedents of a two-term president. Now, it wasn't written in law. That didn't come much later. I think that actually came after Franklin Delano Roosevelt, I believe. But he did kind of establish the precedents that they based the two terms on after FDR. And that was because he chose to step down from the presidency. He felt it was important that the presidency not be a lifetime appointment. It needed to be something that could be chosen by the people themselves. And thus, with great humility, he stepped down and allowed way for the next president that came after him, which was John Adams, who was a deeply unpopular president, But he also had his good qualities too. Again, like I said, the idea is that great people do not seek greatness. They understand the weight and the gravity of the office they hold. But anyway, it's just an opinion. Just like assholes, everybody has an opinion, especially this one. Have a good night.